Alright folks, Post here, welcome back to another Pokemon Masters video, and today we're going to go over SOLGALEO team building. And SOLGALEO is a bit of an interesting cat. I mean, is it actually a cat? I mean, well, it's a lion, which is a cat, right? Is it a lion? I don't know. But anyways, steel psychic sun-eating lion thing. But anyways, the thing with SOLGALEO is SOLGALEO really doesn't need too many supports. Obviously, it does need supports, but because its move, Bright as the Sun, drastically raises the user's attack, special attack, and accuracy. So if you use that twice, that's +6 to your attack, special attack, and accuracy, right? So you don't need attack and special attacks. And, you know, it's interesting because he's both a physical striker and a special striker. So that's why you have both attack and special attack here. But it does consume 3 move gauges, and that's kind of where you have to, you know, put in your work here. And also, since it has Impervious, it benefits a lot from stab boosters in this game, right? So you probably would want your, you know, a lot of your stab boosters to help out SOLGALEO in this scenario. So the biggest problem with SOLGALEO in single player, right? Or I mean in general, but you know, we're talking about single player team builds, is that it eats up move gauges like crazy, right? That's 6 gauges just to get yourself set up offensively with accuracy and attack and special attack. And then both your big moves are 3 gauge moves. So before you even use a move, like, you're 6 gauges down. So obviously you want something that could either refill move gauge or increase your speed. So that would, you know, again, one of the best in the business is Rosa Delibird. Increases speed, raises allied speed, you could use that twice, and then also makes move gauge accelerate on the allied field of play as well. So obviously, best in the business, Rose Santa, that could do that, right? And also another option is just regular Rosa. It increases move gauge, right? Increases move gauge of all allies, sync burst by 3. Obviously, that's really, really good, especially in single player. I mean, it's good in multiplayer as well, but you know, the effects is better in single player. Another one would be Phoebe. Unbreakable bonds, although I mean, it depends, I guess. I was just about to say maybe Rosa is better in this scenario, but Phoebe, for move gauge, right? But Phoebe should be fine because again, it's probably, and Phoebe's probably one of the 2 only supports in the game that outbulk SOLGALEO at 0 potential at max level, right? So you probably want to have one of either Phoebe or Rosa on your team regardless of their support moves, just for the bulk, just to draw aggro, right? So if you're trying to run any other 2 kind of supports, chances are SOLGALEO is just going to get destroyed, right? Well, I wouldn't say it gets destroyed, but you know, it's going to take a lot of the damage. And obviously you don't want your DPS to be taking the damage, because if your DPS dies, you're kind of screwed, right? And the meta right now is just basically mostly 2 supports and a DPS. And if your DPS dies, you have 2 supports, and your supports aren't going to do too much damage, right? Oh, some supports do okay damage, but generally not too much damage. So you want one of either Rosa or Phoebe for that. And also, since those are going to be on your team, either one of them, right? So you'll probably have the move gauge / speed thing covered for the most part. Again, there are some other units that you could also throw in there for speed. Hilbert's a decent one, right? Does Misty? No, it's not Misty. Wait, Misty? No, never mind. I'll think of someone else. But let's put the support filter on, actually. Roxanne's another one, right? That raises speed as well, sharply raises speed. So Roxanne's another decent one. Hilbert, like I said before. Lyra, I probably wouldn't go for, just because, again, you need Sun in there. And then Lyra plus Ponyta plus SOLGALEO is just, that's a disaster. I mean, it's not terrible, but again, SOLGALEO is just going to take a lot of the damage. But Lyra would be, I mean, Lyra's not terrible, again. If you don't run Ponyta, if you also run, like, either Rosa or Phoebe as your other support, and you don't run Ponyta, I mean, sunny side up, that's +2 to speed, and then also you got Dire Hit All, which also helps in that scenario as well, right? I guess Marley is another speed booster, XP, and also it has status condition block as well, which could help in certain stages. Although again, in single player, most likely it's going to be your support taking most of the aggro anyways. But another one would be Skyla, another free-to-play option. Take Flight, obviously sharply raises defense of all allied sync pairs and sharply raises speed of all allied sync pairs. So the and again, like for just because Solgaleo has Impervious, it's one of the rare sync pairs to actually benefit a lot from defensive buffs, because again, usually other sync pairs who don't have Impervious, once like defensive buffs are just a waste of time. You're wasting turns increasing your side's defense, when wasting turns also means that your opponent will throw out their sync move. Like you're cutting turns for your opponent to use a sync move, and once they use their sync move, your defenses are all gone. So you wasted your time, you know, increasing your defenses, which probably wasn't too necessary when you could have been doing damage instead. So that's why defensive supports generally aren't that great in this game. But I guess it would be, you know, Solgaleo would be one of those who could actually use some defensive supports, because again, Impervious, if you get synced, nothing really happens there. So again, it's just some speed supports would be nice. The other thing you want in Solgaleo, which Solgaleo doesn't have, is just crit. And obviously Phoebe is the best in that category, right? Dire hit all twice, you're at +3 crit, right? Really easy. And also Phoebe, you also have the bulk thing going for her, and you also have unbreakable bonds. So overall, Phoebe is just an incredible support to have on Solgaleo's team. Like, if you have Phoebe and you want to run Solgaleo, like Phoebe plus Solgaleo is almost like a must run pair, right? They just work so well together. So you could, a really good team comp would be something like Phoebe plus Rosa / Delibird. I guess some other options that you could also run with. And again, this is one of the downsides of Solgaleo, because Torchic is a really decent crit buffer as well, since you sharply raise special attack and also raise crit. But since it's the main character, you can't run them together, so that's not happening. And also you have X attack all as well. So you can't run that, but I guess you could also go with Lyra, again, for crit as well. But overall, we don't have too many crit buffers in the game. So those are your main go-to folks for crit buffing. Again, like other stuff like raise special attack, raise physical attack, they're not really that relevant, just because it's just better to raise Solgaleo's speed plus move gauge recovery, just so he could do it himself anyways, right? So, and that gives you more room to throw in some other supports. So that's basically how you want to do it. Speed, move gauge recovery, and then crit, right? Again, Solgaleo doesn't have any crit himself or speed, so those are your main targets. Defense isn't terrible for Solgaleo for the reasons we've just mentioned, and also I guess recovery isn't too terrible either if you're running like some kind of tank comp with just Solgaleo increasing your defenses and all that, and then maybe run some recovery stuff. But do keep in mind your recovery is probably going to die much earlier. your HP support is going to probably die much earlier than Solgaleo is, so it might not be that viable. I'd probably just say just go for damage instead. So anyways, let's go ahead and try this one out. Let's go with Dusclops and Rose Santa, and as you can see in a bit, Solgaleo would get targeted if Phoebe wasn't on the team. So if Phoebe's on the team, they'll target Phoebe. Rosa on the team, they'll target Rosa. But if they're not on the team, then Solgaleo is going to get targeted, unfortunately. All right, let's run these moves out. So we're at max crit now, +2 speed, move gauge recovery, +6 in special attack and attack. So there we go. This thing will hit pretty hard after that goes through. Although Focus Blast does more damage, but they're weak to steel, so we're gonna use that. And also ignores Endure, ignores anti-crit stuff, ignores like Sunsteel Strike. Again, Solgaleo is just great if you have like the right setup. Focus Blast, and there we go. again, the other reason why you want to use Bright as the sun, like even if you are bringing like special attack buffers or physical attack buffers, is for the accuracy boost. Because if you're trying to use a Focus Blast, you want that accuracy boost. Like Focus Blast misses so incredibly much if you're not using accuracy boost. If you ever played Solgaleo in auto before, and you'll see that, you know, sometimes they don't use the buff, and then they just start blasting Focus Blast, and then it's just gonna take forever because the thing misses so much. So anyways, that's perfect for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, crit buffs, speed buffs, Rosanta, Rosa, Hilbert, maybe Lyra, Dusclops. These are really decent options for Solgaleo. So yeah, overall in single player, Solgaleo is pretty solid for the most part. Probably, again, probably not the best to farm a lot of these training events or whatever, but hopefully when there are, you know, harder events in the future, so Solgaleo might have more opportunity to shine. But at the moment, if you don't have any of the other options, which is what Will and Mewtwo, Solgaleo is not a terrible striker to farm all these training events with. So anyways, again, that's been for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like and enjoyed this video. Subscribe to my channel for some more Pokemon Masters content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.